Imagine the night sky over Europe during World War II, pierced not by stars, but by the relentless drone of engines. This was the sound of the Avro Lancaster, a heavy bomber that would become one of the most iconic aircraft of the entire conflict. But how did this legendary plane come to be, and what made it so special? Today we're diving deep into the story of the Lancaster, the workhorse of RAF Bomber Command. The story starts not with triumph, but with a bit of a letdown. Avro, the manufacturer, had initially designed a twin-engine bomber called the Manchester. Unfortunately, its Rolls-Royce Vulture engines were notoriously unreliable and underpowered. The project was on the verge of cancellation. But one of Avro's visionary designers, Roy Chadwick, had a brilliant idea. What if they took the Manchester's excellent airframe and redesigned its wings to hold four of the proven, reliable Rolls-Royce Merlin engines? The very same engines that powered the legendary Spitfire and Hurricane. This simple but ingenious modification gave birth to the Lancaster. From its first flight in early 1941, it was clear that the Lancaster was something special. It could fly higher, faster, and carry a heavier bomb load than any other bomber in the RAF's arsenal at the time. Its most remarkable feature was its massive, unobstructed bomb bay. This cavernous space, 33 feet long, allowed the Lancaster to carry an incredible variety of munitions. From thousands of small incendiary bombs to the colossal 200-pound Grand Slam earthquake bomb, the Lancaster could deliver a devastating punch. This capability made it the perfect tool for Bomber Command's strategic air campaign against Germany. Night after night, thousands of young airmen would climb into their Lancasters, taking off from airfields across eastern England, and fly deep into heavily defended enemy territory. The crews were made up of 7 men, each with a critical role: the pilot, the flight engineer, the navigator, the bomb aimer, the wireless operator, and 2 gunners, one in the mid-upper turret and one in the tail. They were a tight-knit team, often from different corners of the Commonwealth, Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all relying on each other for survival in the freezing, hostile skies. The life of a bomber crew was incredibly perilous. They faced threats from enemy night fighters, like the formidable Messerschmitt Bf 110 and Junkers Ju-88, as well as a terrifying gauntlet of anti-aircraft fire, known as flak. Searchlights would sweep the sky, trying to lock onto the bombers for the guns below. The odds were stark. Out of approximately 125,000 aircrew who served in Bomber Command, over 55,000 were killed, a casualty rate of 44%, one of the highest of any unit in the entire war. The average age of these brave men was just 22. Despite the dangers, the Lancaster crews carried out some of the most famous and daring raids of the war. Who hasn't heard of the Dambusters? In May 1943, the specially formed 617 Squadron, flying modified Lancasters, used Barnes-Wallis's ingenious bouncing bomb to attack and breach major dams in Germany's industrial heartland, the Ruhr Valley. This mission, codenamed Operation Chastise, was a stunning feat of low-level flying and precision bombing, and it became a powerful symbol of Allied ingenuity and courage. But the Dambusters raid was just one of over 156,000 sorties flown by Lancasters during the war. They played a crucial role in disrupting German industry, transportation networks, and military infrastructure. They pounded submarine pens on the Atlantic coast, attacked V-weapon sites, and in a series of dramatic raids used massive tallboy bombs to finally sink the German battleship Tirpitz, which had been a persistent threat to Allied shipping in the Arctic. The Lancaster's role wasn't limited to bombing either. They were used for dropping supplies and agents to resistance movements in occupied Europe, and even for humanitarian missions. Towards the end of the war, during Operation Manna and Operation Chowhound, Lancasters dropped thousands of tons of food to the starving Dutch population, flying at treetop height to deliver their precious cargo to grateful citizens below. After the war, the Lancaster's service continued. Many were converted for passenger and transport roles, helping to reconnect a world torn apart by conflict. They served with air forces around the globe for years to come. Today, only a handful of these magnificent aircraft remain, with just 2 still in airworthy condition, one in Britain and one in Canada. They are flying memorials, their thundering Merlin engines a powerful and poignant reminder of the incredible machine and the immense human sacrifice it represents. The Avro Lancaster wasn't just a piece of engineering. It was the chariot for a generation of young men who faced unimaginable odds. It was a symbol of industrial might, strategic power, and above all, the courage and determination of the crews who flew it into the dark. Its legacy is etched into the very fabric of World War II history. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the story of the Lancaster bomber. If you found this interesting, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories from history.